Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome back to our Starav 5 trip. After a good night's sleep and some breakfast, it was time to get back onto the hills, as we still had 3 Monroes to summit. Glas Vein Vor, Stob Koya Anokali, and Miao Ninier. Sadly, some of the members of the group didn't feel up to finishing the Starav 5, so they actually headed back after packing up the campsite. The bulk of the group continued on for our first summit. This would also be one of the group's 100th Monroe, so we're all looking forward to celebrating with her once we got to the top. Getting to the summit of Glas Vein Vorn didn't actually take us too long, as we're most of the way up from the day before. The terrain, nice and easy, with some rocky bits in it, a couple of boulders but nothing you can't handle, and it's a decent gradient as you go towards the summit. As you can see, we got good weather again, however it would kind of peter off at the end of the day, but for the bulk of it, we got good weather. It felt like all of us in the group had got ourselves our second wind on this day. We're pushing ahead quite fast, and obviously our kit was a bit lighter because we'd eaten all our food from the night before. Here we are at the first summit of the day. And to prove we're our second wind, you'll see myself and Charlotte racing for the summit like little kids, trying to be the first one there. Big congratulations to Shona for reaching her 100th Monroe.
Right on the top!
Oh man.
Well done.
Brilliant.
Sadly at this point, Shona and a few others decided to hang back and go their own pace, while the rest of us headed down towards the Belak in between the 2 Monroes. The descent was a bit tricky. There's some boulders, rocks again, tricky paths, but there was no major issue that would slow yourself down or your dogs. Heading up now to Stob, Koya and luckily, the terrain is actually really quite easy. As you can see, there's a few boggy patches that you can kind of weave your way in and out, but the terrain and the gradient is really good all the way to the top. having a Monroe like this just meant we were able to recharge our batteries and have a nice leisurely walk all the way to the summit, where we would end up having our lunch as well. Other than some bogs, there is absolutely nothing challenging about this Monroe itself, and you get some decent views once you get to the summit. From the summit we could see showing a small group in the distance. They were heading our way, and we're going to continue the route just behind us, but this would be the last time we'd actually see them. Summiting this Monroe was really easy, but I wish I could say the same for the descent. As you'll see, you end up getting to a section where there's lots of kind of little cliff edges, boulders, rocks, the path's very intermittent, and you really just have to pick your way round and pick the best route you can. It's not impossible, but it just slows you down a bit. Although for your dogs there's actually quite a lot of water scattered around this section of the route. Now heading up the slopes of Niall na Niarn. Initially it's a bit rocky and you just have to kind of pick your way through. There's a few little bits of bogs and stuff, but nothing major. And then eventually you get nice grassy slopes all the way to the summit itself. Everyone in the group did fantastic that day. We'd left the campsite about 8 o'clock and we were actually on the last summit by just after 1 o'clock. So we're making really good time on the second day. And all the dogs were doing fantastic as well. They were really well behaved, even though we met multiple people on the hill. Every one of them complimented all the dogs. Cody racing to be first at our final summit of the day. I love getting out in the hills, especially if there's a chance to do some wild camping as well. Just makes the experience a lot better. And I think everyone in the group did enjoy actually staying on the hills. The Starav 5 can be done in one day if that's how you want to do it. However, I found it really enjoyable actually breaking it up and doing it over the 2 days. I feel it gives you more time to enjoy and savour the views. Unfortunately for us, this was the end of the good weather. It did start to turn on us. Not too bad initially, it was just kind of spitting, but we were going to be going down one of the more daunting parts of the Starav 5, the descent. I wouldn't recommend doing this in really low visibility, as there's lots of rocky crags, drops, little cliff edges. It's a lot easier doing it with the visibility we had. We were able to pick our way through all the little cliff edges and rocks. There is no clear defined path, you just got to kind of make it up as you go along. But it goes without saying, it's much easier when you can actually see quite a distance ahead of you. There's an awful lot of zigzagging around in between rocks, down little gullies, trying to find the best way down. It did slow us down considerably. As you can see just in front of Cody, there's a lot of big cliff edges that you can just slide off and fall and really hurt yourself if you've not got the visibility. Getting through the descent wasn't fun. It was probably the most challenging part of the day. Just weaving in and out. It took us well over an hour to actually get to a decent track which is near the river that you can just see in the distance. That's really what you're heading for. It did take its toll on the group, knackering everyone out, and we had a good stop. And you can actually see from Sleeping Beauty here how tired some people were. But once you get closer to the river, you do pick up a decent little track that takes you along. This will lead you towards a hydro path, which is a godsend just at the end. And this will take you all the way back down the hill towards the bridge where you started. It was a shame the weather turned on us at the end, but it didn't dampen anyone's spirits. Everyone in the group worked really hard to complete the Starav 5, especially with all the camping gear and such like that everyone had. But in true Monroe fashion, the weather did totally change just as we were getting down toward the bottom, and the sun came out and dried everyone up, which is always a bonus at the end. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who took part in this event with myself and Charlotte. It made it a brilliant 2 days on the hill, and I'm glad that everyone enjoyed themselves and achieved 5 Monroes. And I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next adventure.